Hi, I'm Ernestine Briggs-King, and I'm a trauma therapist. I'm actually Samantha's trauma therapist, and I have the pleasure of working with her. You'll learn about Samantha, and you'll learn that she's this incredibly driven student, a very accomplished athlete who faces a challenge one day when a day that should have been marked with celebration and fun and happiness turned really dark as she was sexually assaulted at a senior party. In the digital diaries, you'll learn about some of the struggles that Sam has had after the assault, but you'll also learn about some of her triumphs that she's had as she learns how to negotiate her way through these traumatic experiences and reclaims her sense of resiliency as she moves forward. So I hope you join us in watching these digital diaries.
Hi, Ernestine. I decided to give these video diaries a shot. It's kind of weird. And I have had trouble talking, so I don't know how much you're gonna get out of me. I know you've asked about my family. I have a very small family, and my mom and my dad, I live with them. We're okay. I don't know how much they take an interest in the things I'm interested in. I know they care about school and my extracurriculars and stuff, but I don't know. I just never have really been able to talk to them about like everything. My mom, um, growing up, I could always tell that she liked Jane, my older sister, a little more than me. She gave her more attention than me, and they definitely talk more. But I never really held that against her. My dad, on the other hand, growing up, I was kind of his princess. I, I still am, or I was, but now it's just work hard, and that's really it. My sister, she's 6 years older than me. She doesn't live with me anymore. She moved with my grandparents, actually. And yeah, I mean, we don't really talk. I thought maybe we would more, or at least as much as we did before she moved, but I know she's busy. And then there's my grandparents that live with my sister. They're my dad's parents because my mom doesn't really have the greatest relationship with hers. And I talk to them on special occasions. They'll call or we'll go visit. And then there's my aunt Steph. She's definitely the closest person to me, actually, in my family. She calls a lot and always checks up on me to see how I'm doing and asks me about everything in my life. Yeah, she's been there a lot, actually. She's definitely my rock, I think. Yeah, so that's my family. Ernestine, how do I talk about something I don't remember? I know you want me to. I think you do. Just like when you ask me about Aaron or ask me who Jack is. I just don't like talking about it. Focusing on it. And it's like every time I try to figure it out, it just hurts too much. The thing I did with the pen in front of you when I stabbed myself, that was stupid. It was so stupid. But it was something sharp, and I knew it would hurt, but I also knew it would make me feel so much better. If my parents saw that, they would probably freak out. And if I wasn't so numb, I would have probably freaked out too. I don't know what I am anymore. And I'm scared because I feel like I have no control. Hello, Ernestine. Yesterday we talked, or I told you a little bit about my Aunt Steph and how I kind of am realizing how she's the closest person to me and my family. I've been thinking of some of the things we've done together growing up. And there's this one memory I have. It was this time when I was 8. My aunt took me to an amusement park down her street. It was a couple houses down. She took me for my birthday, and I remember the day was really sunny and bright. I had to wear one of her pair of oversized, cheetah sunglasses. But yeah, my sister complained the whole time on our way to my aunt's house when my mom and my dad drove us, because she wanted to go. But it was my special day, so my aunt was only taking me. When we got there, my aunt came out with a birthday cake, and she made my mom and my dad and my sister sing to me. My mom and my sister were singing quietly because they were just annoyed and wanted to get back home, but I do remember my aunt singing very loudly, and she had this really big smile on her face. And once my parents left, my aunt brought the cake back in the house, and she promised me ice cream when we got back, and we started walking to the amusement park. And on the way there, I know we were talking about all the rides we were going to go on. And my aunt had been a couple times, but I've never been. So she was telling me all the exciting new things. And when we got there, we went to this one roller coaster that had a lot of twists. And I know there was this really big drop that happened almost immediately. And it was the first roller coaster we saw, so we started going up the line, and we waited for a bit. But once I had gotten there, I just started crying, and I refused to go on the roller coaster. And my aunt really didn't know what to do at first, but I just was freaking out. So we ended up leaving the line, and I was so embarrassed that I had to leave the line that I just started crying harder, and I just like couldn't stop. And my aunt tried. She really tried her best to try to get me to go on other rides or make me feel better, but it just wasn't happening. So she just walked me back to her house, and she didn't really say anything in that walk. She held my hand, and then when we got back to her house, she put me on her couch, and she gave me this big fuzzy blanket to wrap myself in, and she went into the kitchen and came out with the cake and this tub of strawberry ice cream and 2 forks and spoons. And we just sat on her couch and ate the ice cream out of the tub and ate the cake and watched movies. And I remember she was playing with my hair. And she did say something kind of touching on what had happened. She just told me that she loved me, and that nights like that were only a phone call away. Yeah, that's a really strong memory I have of my aunt. So I've actually been thinking a lot about what you last said to me, Ernestine. What you said about my aunt. You asked me if the way that my aunt responded to my freak out at the amusement park years ago, if that was the same way I would have wanted my parents to react to what happened to me. At first, I didn't know what to think about that. The reason I freaked out at the amusement park so many years ago was because I wasn't ready to go on a ride that intense. But I wanted to be a big girl. I wanted to do what my aunt could do. And the realization from that just made me panic. And the only way I knew how to react was to cry. I hate not being able to do what others can do. And for not having any control. I messed up. At night at the party, I really messed up. I've spent my whole life just trying to make the right decisions and be mature and an adult. And the one night I decided to be stupid and just let myself go and lose control. My parents have never been the type of people I could just go to talk about my feelings or emotions of any kind. You know, right now I'm confused and angry and fragile. So yeah, if they just reached out to me, I would have wanted that. But I've disappointed them. They have this image of me and I ruined it. And I can't even blame them because I'm disappointed in myself too. Maybe my aunt is too. I just ruined it. Hi, Ernestine. So I was actually looking at these pictures of me and my friends, and I realized that I never really talked to you about Erin. Erin is my best friend, and she is definitely one of a kind. She's gorgeous and funny and smart, and she gets along with everybody. You know, when I first got to Worcester High School, I was really afraid of making new friends. You know, I was an incoming sophomore. I hadn't been there the year before, and I stuck out like a sore thumb, so I figured nobody would really want to make friends with the new, different kid. But I figured at least at soccer I would be able to make some type of friends. And, you know, a couple days after classes had started, we had soccer tryouts, and that's where I met Erin. And she introduced herself to me as she did to everyone. She was actually very talkative. I was kind of annoyed at first because I thought she was kind of one of those attention-seeking girls. But now I just know it's her bubbly personality. But yeah, that's where I met Erin, and I actually didn't become close to Erin in the first few weeks. We would share small talk here and there. I mean, we both had made the team, but we didn't get close. I actually had another girl in my life that I became friends with after soccer tryouts that I thought would be my best friend. You know, she invited me over to do homework, and then one hangout turned into the next, and she let me sit with her friends at lunch and all of that. But after about a couple weeks, she just, I don't know, it just seemed like she was kind of jealous of me. And she would just make these backhanded compliments at me or passive-aggressive comments, or she would try to make me look stupid in front of her friends who already didn't really take the quickest liking to me. But then there was one day we were in the lunch line, and she made one of her comments at me, and I heard from behind us Erin call her a bitch. Obviously, that turned into a little thing. Everybody was watching. I'm pretty sure some people were cheering Erin on as she told Cynthia off, but, I didn't get in the middle because I really didn't know what was going on. But yeah, Erin really told Cynthia off, and then Cynthia just left angrily. And that's when Erin came up to me and told me all about these nasty rumors that Cynthia was spreading about me. But Erin made sure to let me know that she was always defending me whenever she heard those rumors because she knew that they weren't true. And then she invited me over her house that night, and I went, and it was amazing. I had such a good time. I met her mom, who was just as sweet as she was and just as fun. And I laughed. I laughed so much. More than I could remember at that time. And then after that, we were inseparable. When thinking about Erin, I kind of realized she's like my protector. I mean, she's always been there for me. And I know that this isn't fair. But I kind of wonder where she was that night at the party. Why she wasn't there to protect me. And that's so wrong because I know that it's not her fault. Me going to this party meant a lot to her. And it meant a lot to me to go for her. Because I can really be myself around her. And even though I can't always go out with her and do all the things her other friends can do with her, this meant a lot. And she means a lot. I can really be myself around her. I know there was a time where you asked me why I've been cutting myself. Honestly, cutting myself was something I never thought I would do. But it came so naturally after I started. And the first time I did it, I cried. It was the first time I'd cried since the incident. And it wasn't even because it hurt. It was because I was angry at myself. I'm angry at everything. I'm angry that I put myself in that position at the party. I was doing something I shouldn't have been doing. I'm angry because my parents won't even look at me or talk to me. I'm angry because I don't even know what happened. After that, the urge from cutting just simply was to take all the pressure out of my head. It's just too much to try to figure out. It just is too much pressure when people want to talk about it. It's like the physical pain takes away the emotional pain, even though it's not even as satisfying as it was the first time. But I can't explain it. It's like the only time I have any type of control. But then I do things like stab myself with a pen in front of you, and I throw my head against the wall, and just things I never would see myself doing, things I can't do to myself. And I don't know where the control is.